a reminder, some images, and just keeping our presence there. So we also have the MISA website is another way for our online presence. And so with the website, it has the officer list if you want to get the membership or apply for an officer or just somehow contact MISA. That's all that information is there as well. So if you have any questions there, we have the FAQs, some additional information about our schedule. And so we also, like Jonathan mentioned earlier, try to make sure you're subscribed to the newsletters. That way you get reminders before every meeting. That way we have a rundown of who's going to be speaking and any other information about it, as well as any job opportunities and things like that. In MIS, we have information for every week. And so another way starting this semester is we have a MISA group meet. So if you want to take out your phones, quickly join if you haven't already. I believe it was sent out as well in a newsletter. And so any questions you have, feel free to add if you have, any information about maybe job offerings in the area or anything MIS related. And so we'll also try to keep updated on anything related to the meetings and just reminders before all of the different events we'll have over the semester. So with that, I will hand it back over to Jonathan to go over our officers.
Thank you. Everybody got okay, cool. Definitely our organization's definitely got a lot bigger. I remember a couple semesters ago, it's probably 5 of us. So obviously I'm the president and Jacob's the vice president, but I just want to introduce everybody else to the other officers and managers. So our communications officer, the person that kind of every week gives us the weekly newsletter, and is Tulsi. If you have any questions about that stuff, that's her over there. And then we have our operations officer. He's the guy that helps us set up everything here in MISA and tears it down. He's the powerhouse for MISA. So appreciate you, David. And then we have our motivation officer, Raymond. He's usually on Zoom. If you haven't met Raymond in person, he is quite the character. He's definitely the most lively person I've ever met in my life. So shout out Raymond. We have our treasurer, Courtney. She works with our lovely alumni leader, Emily. We haven't met her yet either. Then we have a new social media officer in Cheyenne. So if you see any posts, let's start posting. And then we have our webmaster, Pamelina, and we have our new managers coming in this semester. We have Zach assisting Pamelina on the website. We have Anna assisting Tulsi. We have Kendra helping Cheyenne with social media, and Daniel, he's another life of the MISA. So happy to have everybody part of the organization. If you're interested in being part of MISA as maybe an officer or a manager, feel free to reach out to me after the meeting or through email. And let's keep going. So like I said, if you're interested in getting more involved with MISA or have questions, feel free to talk to me or Dr. Sweet. Feel free to reach out to me first. And then if it's something more important, I'll forward it to Dr. Sweets. So let's see, what does that say? Okay, so do we have any questions about the schedule for MISA or any more questions about MISA in general before I go on to our lovely alumni? Feel free to put it in the chat. Anybody has questions in here? Yep. Yep, so for the MISA Premium, it's a one-time lifetime payment. Even if you graduate, you'll always be part of Premium. If you want to come to the company tours after you graduate, come to the company tours. Even with like the job postings and stuff, you'll still receive it if you want, if you're still looking. So yep, so one time, and you get a polo, you get your graduation cord, you get a bunch of other swag, and it's a really good group to join. It's good to put on your LinkedIn as an organization, so definitely great. And question in the chat, how you get the cord and shirt out. Yeah, so once you get the payment, it will flag us for in our email. Once we go through that, we'll email you directly for a pickup time. You'll pick it up at Dr. Sweet's office. I think it's in a certain time range, but even if you can't pick it up at that time, he'll leave it out at his door and you just pick it up. He'll have your name labeled. Yep.
membership.
Okay, so where to get the premium membership? So you'd want to go to our lovely MISA website. So let me go there real quick. So if you go to misafau.com, this is our awesome website. You get more about info for everybody that's part of the organization, and payment will be down here on the homepage. One second. You press premium membership, and then you just go to this proceed to checkout, and that's where the payment goes through. And then also, if you're interested in becoming an officer, you can fill out the interest form right here. Yep. So,
And can you bring your friends and they want to do the program in college of business?
so that one more time.
Can you bring friends if they're not interested?
Yeah, you could MISA's free to join on every Thursday, so bring as much people as you want. We'll love to have as much people. So, yep. So, any other questions? There is no deadline. You could join MISA any day, premium any day, anytime. So no deadline. The only thing is, if you are graduating this semester, try to at least sign up a couple weeks before, just so we could get your cord and everything ready in time. Yep.
Jonathan, there's a few questions in the chat.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think Jacob was giving it to me, so let me see if I missed any. Are there any others I'm missing, Jacob? Okay, yep.
I was gonna say, yeah, you can join the premium anytime, but if you want to have an opportunity.
Yeah, so also before the company tour, I also recommend signing up for premium, just because the only like prerequisite of going to the company tour is just being a MISA premium member. So definitely, if you're interested in becoming a premium member, definitely sign up before that. I highly recommend it. It's definitely a lot of benefits towards that, and it's just a one-time payment. So
What is the company tour again?
so we're still trying to finalize the actual date, but it'd probably be probably after spring break, like a week or two after spring break. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, cool.
I just want to add one thing. What wasn't put up there, another great reason to come here is when you're picking your classes, which class, who's your professors, what the class is going to be like, because some of you haven't taken them all, some of us have taken most of them. But, you know, who doesn't want to get info on that? What professors to watch out for, what the assignments are going to be like.
So if you ever heard what David said in the class, he says MISA is a great way for you to figure out which classes to take, what professor to take, which semester to take it. A lot of us has gone through the whole program. Me, myself, I'm graduating this semester with my master's. So I've been through all of it. So you guys ask me about it. A lot of our officers here have been through it. So feel free to ask us, and we're here to help. So I know. Any other questions? All right, cool. So let me just run through these just to make sure we're good on time. Okay, so if you haven't signed in yet, here's another opportunity to scan the QR code. I'll let you guys scan that in real quick. I think everybody here pretty much got it. So if you still need it, just let me know. We're gonna go into the alumni panel session. So today we have Paul and Carice, who are former alumni of the MIS program here at FAU, and they're also former officers here at MISA. Paul, former website manager, and Carice, she was the vice president of MISA last semester. So Paul's a current data analyst for SROA Capital, and Carice is a educator for Lululemon. So I will get the session going. So let me just, share my screen. And I guess, Paul, if you want to go first, I'll let you go first and
Yeah.
introduce yourself. Tell us what your experience through FAU was, how MISA helped you, and then go into how your current day-to-day is with your current job position.
Okay. Can everyone see me? Everyone is good?
Yep.
Okay. So my name's Paul Schwartz. I graduated last May in 2022. And I got started with MISA in 2021, spring of 21. So I was in there for 3 semesters. I got into it because of Pamelina, who was the webmaster. Had her in a class and she introduced me to getting involved, and I quickly signed up for that lifetime membership, which was $60 at the time. So you guys are getting $5 off. And then I became a webmaster, and that was really fun, getting to update the website. And like this video, Pamelina is going to upload it to the website so you can watch all of these that are recorded. There's old ones from last semester. I think it goes back 2 semesters that you can watch. So even if you miss this in person, you can do that. And my time at MISA has been great. I really looked forward to the company tours and the get-togethers, like the barbecue. And last semester, I believe we had a bowling. We went bowling, and I get very competitive. So at bowling, I was really going for it. And at the barbecue, we usually have a big volleyball game. So I really look forward to that. The company tours, there was one each semester, but I was only able to make it to the one, which was the Modernizing Medicine. So that was amazing. That place is like Google. So if you can go to that, it was amazing. And again, all of these get-togethers and company tours are a great way for all of you to get involved and to network, because that's the whole reason of MISA, is to network. So bring resumes with you, always just introduce yourself and hand out a resume. You never know, especially at those events, there's a lot of other alumni that go. So they could be already in the job market, and it's a great way to, again, to network. So after I graduated, I just took some time to not be a student anymore. So, and not have to look forward to doing homework or tests. But then I was just teaching myself on the side, data analytics stuff. And so obviously I graduated with my degree in management information systems, but I did the business analytics concentration. And then after graduation, I was just applying and interviewing for places and updated my resume and started to try becoming more active on LinkedIn. I still need to make my LinkedIn even nicer. So just having it somewhat, you can always work on it and make it better. And so as I was interviewing for places, I was even getting callbacks from places that I wasn't even 100% sure I wanted to work at, but I still went on those interviews just for practice. So always do that. And I currently work for a company called SROA Capital, which is a private equity firm that invests in storage facilities. So SROA also stands for Storage Rentals of America. So they invest in storage facilities, and I work closely with the rent revenue director on just trying to gain some insights on the plethora of data that they have on how he can set pricing strategies. And I've been working there for literally just a month so far, so I'm very fresh into it. And there's a lot to learn. I am currently trying to dive deeper into Power BI, because everything they do there is on Power BI, and learning more SQL. And Excel, basically. Just using Excel and Power BI as of now. Other than that, yeah, again, I'm still very fresh in the role, lot to learn, and that's basically it for my story. If anyone has any questions for me, I also have my LinkedIn that I would like to share, that if you guys want to get connected with me, let me get that copied over. That in the chat.
While he's doing that, definitely try to connect with them on LinkedIn. Getting a lot of connections on LinkedIn is very important. So make sure if you have a LinkedIn, make sure you connect with Paul and the rest of us. All our LinkedIns are on the MISA fau.edu website, so you can join us from there. Paul just submitted it on the chat. So I think we have a question in class, Paul, so let me see.
Yeah.
I don't know how many places you applied to. I want to ask, how tough was it, just managing expectation and like getting projected by places you want to really go to, stuff like that.
Gotcha. So if you haven't heard yet, if you couldn't hear him, he was like, so how many like job applications did you put in? How did you take it, like getting rejected by a lot of places before you heard back from one place? Like how was that process of like just trying to find a job?
Mostly I did was just LinkedIn and Indeed. The job that I got was actually through Indeed, and it wasn't too bad. Most of the places, they either just ghost you, or then when I heard back, there was one that I went in person and it was a horrible interview. But it was more so like at that time, I didn't want that job. It was a data analyst position, but I went really more for a learning situation. And you know, I didn't do too well in the interview as well. I just didn't hear back. So, I mean, the worst thing they can do is to say no. I mean, when you're in the interview, it is what it is. It's nothing bad, but I just kept just pumping out applications to places that I was semi-interested in. And I probably sent out maybe like 20 to 30, not too many, like over the span of 6 months, really. And just, I only got maybe five places where I went and interviewed with and had phone interviews. The place where I got now, I mean, I also consider myself a little bit fortunate because when I first had a phone interview for like a half hour, and then I had a Skype interview with the data manager who does all their Power BI for like a half hour. Then after that, then I had to go and do an in-person interview for an hour, but it wasn't all that crazy. Like it wasn't that intimidating. And when I had the first phone call, I really just be yourself. And I just told them, hey, this is where I'm at. I am fresh out of college. You know, there's still a lot that I need to learn. I'm looking for a company that I can grow with and that I can learn from, and just so they know where I'm at. And the place where I work now, the rate revenue director, he was completely cool with that. And, you know, their data analytics team is very in its infancy stages. So I'm kind of, again, fortunate that it led into that. And again, it's still, when I go into work, there's still a lot to learn, and I'm just taking it day by day. But, you know, I got my foot in the door. So circling back, just apply to places. Don't worry about if you do bad in an interview. Most likely, but the worst thing they're going to do is say no, and they're not really going to say anything to your face during that time. They're probably just going to ghost you, or I get, sorry, we went with someone else, emails weeks later, then I'm already over it. But And again, just be yourself when it comes to getting that phone interview and going from there. And when you talk to recruiters before you end up talking to people, just be yourself and just let them know where you're at. And during the time, even now, even before you graduate, you should really, if you're going for the data analytics, the route, there's so much free information, and I'll even put it in the chat. You should go to Alex the Analyst on YouTube and Maven Analytics. Maven Analytics, it's like $40 a month if you wanted to do that. But a lot of their courses, you can just look at courses that you're interested in on Maven Analytics. Go to Udemy and search for Maven Analytics on there. They upload their videos, so you can just buy ones a la carte, and now you own it for life. And I paid $100 for $700 worth of videos because everything's usually on sale on Udemy. So, and then on Alex the Analyst, he walks you through doing portfolio projects, setting up a resume or a portfolio online, and then walks you through doing a project for Excel, SQL, Tableau, all of that. So very handy to check him out, and I will put that in the chat for sure.
All right, so if you have any more questions, I'll give an opportunity once the session comes to a close. So let's give Paul a round of applause. You can ask him some more questions. You can ask him more questions after we wrap up real quick. So I'm going to introduce you to Carice. She was the vice president for MISA last semester, and she's going to introduce herself to you and basically talk about her FAU career, how MISA has affected her, and as well as what she's doing now. So let's give a round of applause for Carice.
Hi, everyone. So just like Jonathan said, my name is Carice. I just graduated from FAU last month with my bachelor's degree in management information systems. I just did the general path. And I was the former vice president of MISA, but when I started back in January of 2021, yeah, actually, I was the social media manager. So I started out doing the posts and things like that. So yeah, that's my start with MISA. And I actually had a rather unique undergraduate experience because I went to FAU High. So I did high school and college simultaneously. So during my sophomore year of high school, I started my freshman year of college. So I wanted to, kind of find a club that aligned with my major. So once I decided to major in MIS, I went on Instagram and just kind of searched for all the clubs that FAU offered. And when I stumbled upon MISA, I just reached out, DM'd them on Instagram, and I said, hey, I'd love to join. And I went to the first meeting, which was actually the same exact meeting, the alumni panel. And I knew I wanted to join instantly. So I signed up for the membership right then and there. And like Paul said, we used to pay $60. So you guys are getting a great deal by paying $55 now. But yeah, it's a lifetime membership. So I decided to join, and I got that social media officer role, and I really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed my time at MISA. The company tours were great. I loved the modernizing medicine tour that we did last year. It was really great and informative. We also have the barbecue, which is really fun. We play a nice game of volleyball, which is really fun. And it's nice that while it is an academic club, we still do these social events like game night, barbecue, all those different things. That way you can still connect with people outside of like a school setting, if that makes sense. So yeah, like Jonathan said, I am still working at Lululemon. It's retail. So I'm just doing that in the meantime because I am still in the middle of law school applications, so I plan on attending law school in the fall. So I decided to keep my job, like part-time job at Lululemon, so I could still travel and explore. And I'm taking this kind of as like a gap semester, before I head into law school. So I'm still working on the applications and all those things. So yeah, and I want to go to law school and probably do tech law. Still trying to figure out what exact sector, but I plan on doing tech law, I think. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, and I did drop my LinkedIn in the chat. Yes, thanks, Jonathan, again.
Any questions here? Yep.
Law school, if your major was MIS.
So his question was, since your bachelor's was MIS, what made you decide to want to go to law school instead?
Yeah, great question. So I wanted to do something a little bit different than what most pre-law students do. Most pre-law students do like political science or, social sociology or something like that. So I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I wanted a major where if I decided I didn't want to go to law school, that I could, still have like hard skills that I could use and apply to a job. So I decided to major in MIS just in the situation where I didn't want to go to law school.
Yep. Any other questions? Feel free to put it in the chat.
Oh, someone asked what made me interested in doing tech law. So in 2021, I actually did an article with the undergraduate law journal at FAU. And I did an article on the international laws of cybersecurity, like between the different countries. And I found that so interesting. So I'm definitely interested in tech law, like just through all the research and things that I learned through writing that article. Like it was really cool to see. I think my article is under my LinkedIn, so you guys can probably see it if you scroll down to publications. So you guys can see it on there.
So anybody has any questions for Chris, Paul, or in MISA in general, feel free to put it in the chat, hop in or ask here. So we have the lovely Dr. Sweet that has come joined us for the meeting finally. So he is the back and the bone and everything else of MISA. Without MISA, without him and Emily, MISA probably wouldn't be a thing. So I want to introduce you to Dr. Sweet, have him introduce you to himself if you haven't met him before. So just give a round of applause for Carice first. For introducing herself. Thanks again, Carice and Paul. We'll have Dr. Sweet introduce himself. While he's talking, please think of other questions if you can. And there we go. So let me put that on. Go.
Right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, gang. So I'm Dr. Sweet, so most of you know me. So I have the privilege of being the faculty advisor for this club that we like to call MISA here. So I'm also senior instructor and program director for the Information Technology and Operations Management Department, the longest department name in the College of Business. So pretty happy about that. So appreciate the team. Can I give a warm round of applause for all of the officers and managers, David, Jonathan, Anna, Daniel, Diane. They all put this all together because I had another meeting I had to go to earlier. So this was actually like the first MISA session where I've missed like 3/4 of the whole session. So I'll try not to make a habit of this, but at least I know that we were in good hands with the rest of the group. So we definitely appreciate that. So, and thanks so much, Paul, for jumping in, and Carice as well. It's amazing to see, like, I still think it's amazing how quickly I feel like you guys were just here. Like, well, Carice, you were just here like last semester, but Paul, it feels like Paul, you were just here last semester too. So that's kind of how things go. But what's great about MISA, and as you see from these two, is MISA doesn't end when you graduate unless you want it to, right? So we still have plenty of alums that are even here that still come and connect, because it's all about building your network. And really, especially in IT, you'll see that, you know, the circles are kind of small that everybody runs in. So it's always great to be able to connect, not only just with your classmates, but also to connect and make some good friendships, because a lot of those friendships can then to lead to jobs, maybe not the first job, but the second job or the third job, or wherever you need to go in your ranking. So that's kind of my spiel. So any other questions for our amazing alums, for Carice or for Paul?
Or
So
any
from
other
the group
questions
here?
about this,
Yeah, or about MISA in general.
or like classes or accelerated program or anything like that?
So I don't know if I missed it earlier, Carice or Paul, did you guys say like what was your favorite thing about MISA for all of them? Like, if you think back of like one thing, did you have one thing that was like, oh, this was like my favorite thing about MISA that we either did or that the
It was
club was
the-
about? Oh, go ahead, Paul.
It was like the company tour, the barbecuing, because the one time I got to barbecue for everyone. And just hanging out that whole day, and then we all walked over to the beach, and it was, you know, it was fun, and also networking because we had other alumni come to that barbecue. So it was, that was if I had to choose one, it would be my favorite barbecue.
Okay, nice. It's a fan favorite. So
Yeah.
I mentioned before, the barbecue is, we got it set now for February 18th, so it's right around the corner. So we'll be probably start recruiting for that next week. But that's always like one of the most, I'd say one of the most enjoyable in terms of just relaxing, more low key, because the company tour is, like everyone said, is great, but you kind of have to be, you know, you're still in a professional setting, so you can't let your hair down all the way. You got to keep it professional, but definitely. So awesome, Paul. So Carice, anything? What's your favorite thing?
I was gonna say the same thing, the barbecue, but also like globally, I was also saying that I love how we also have like social events too. It's not just strictly about academics, and we still have like game night and those fun things too. So we have some fun stuff.
Awesome. Really good. So we're coming to the end. Any other final itching questions? So for those of you online, you can post it in the chat, or you know, for those of you here, any final.
Any officers or managers want to talk about what MISA has meant for them or anything like that? Come up and talk about that as well. Feel free.
Or I can relay it if you don't want to come up. You want to come up, Cheyenne? All right, Cheyenne's gonna come up. All right, Cheyenne. Hey.
Oh my gosh, I'm like looking into the screen. Hello, everyone. My name is Cheyenne. I'm actually fairly new to FAU. I'm a transfer student from UCF. I grew up in Orlando. I actually got involved with MISA and Beta Alpha Psi last semester when I transferred over. And it's been one of the most transforming things I've done in my college career. I'm so happy to connect with fellow students and other fellow students who have the same mindset as me. Highly suggest following us on Instagram. I also run the social media pages with Kendra as well for this semester. So if you have any questions or want to connect on LinkedIn, I did put my LinkedIn in the chat. Yeah, so I'm really excited for this semester. And I'm excited to work with you all and get to know you guys more.
Oh, Daniel, you want to go? Daniel's our official, unofficial spokesperson.
Good afternoon, guys. My name is Daniel. I am the official engagement officer, and I would like to say that I joined last semester, and I would like to say what MISA means to me is when I first joined FAU, I was just trying to focus on school, just tunnel vision, and it was really nice to finally be active on campus and talk to people who were in similar paths that I was in, feel more comfortable. It felt like I don't want to say family because I know people say family all the time, But I really felt like I was growing with a group around me, people who could really felt familiar, felt like I was comfortable. This was my environment. This is where I could be. This is where I could find peace, right? So I know that's really big for college students because a lot of us are coming from different places, and that's what we want to find, right? You know, from different backgrounds, different perspectives. That's what you want. So I would say, look, MISA doesn't have to necessarily be the place for you, but as long as I'm here, my arms are wide, so you can come in, I'll give you a big old hug and we can eat together, all right, guys? There you go.
Well, we got to end on a high note on that one. That was pretty inspiring there. So good job, Daniel. So awesome. So that's it. All right. So I love the energy there. So Courtney said, love the energy. So, so yeah, I can go ahead. Oh, you got it on mine? Cool. So we'll go ahead and stop the recording. And then what we'll do is, for those of you that are online, obviously for those of you that are part of MISA, like, you know, we always have to do a group photo. So because we have so many of